I just got back from the big island of Hawaii. We stayed on an organic permaculture farm, met some amazing people, explored some secluded beaches, and unusual things happened that made our trip forever unforgettable. This was my second time back to the Big Island, and every time I go, it gets harder and harder to leave. I can now see why so many people desire this tropical paradise. It has a way of pulling you in like a tidal wave. The first few days, we got to stay on an organic permaculture farm on the southern end of the island in the rural lands of Pahala, called Ancient Valley Growers. Just after we got there, the electricity went out and stayed out until just before we left. So it was truly an off-grid experience, but it made our trip unforgettable. Farmer Matt and his wife, Andrea, kindly took us in, let us join them on their daily routine feeding the animals. And we got to sit in on a workshop he was teaching to a group of local farmers wanting to learn more about Korean natural farming. It was a busy day that started early when the sun rose. They're a young production farm, only 2 years old, so I got to see how they set up their land, the systems they put into place, and the things they grow to be successful in just the 2 years they've had this farm. They have hundreds of chickens that needed feeding, using fermented food that they make themselves on the farm.
Yeah, the mornings are so pretty. Buenos días, Annie. I'm coming. This is starting to be more bright earlier.
That's good. Wow, look at all of them. Look at you guys.
So this is the fermented food that we mix it with the regular food.
So why do you ferment it?
Because it's just easier for them to digest. It's just like a sprouted seeds. They help them with their digestion, and also this is like a oats, bark, corn, and then it will absorb more water. And then that will help them to get more water into their system.
How long do you soak it?
24 hours. And then we add a little bit of whey to help it. It just is more microorganisms in there. And they love it. And we use less feed now. Now
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, now that they're using this. You want to bring the wheel down?
Usually I'll feed them and I'll save them a little tiny bit and try and coax them out of there.
I'll bring a little extra.
How many roosters you got?
I think there's 10. How many did you count when you were trying to sleep?
6.
Yeah, I think there's 10 because we have 160 hens. It's supposed to be like one for every 12 birds or something like that. It's reached like this equalization. So none of them are fighting. None of them try and attack us.
Yeah.
Ones that did, we just ate them. And it's been nice. But there's way too many birds in here, so we're gonna put half of them, put wheels on this thing, and half of them are gonna move out into the back of the farm.
Oh, great. Yeah, mobile.
Move them around.
Mobile
yeah.
coop.
When we order the baby chicks, they'll give us like a random one. And we got two shipments in a row. We got these ones, and they turned out to be gigantic. And they're both, and they're roosters too, and they're like the gentlest roosters.
And you don't know what kind they are?
No, I'm sure we could look it up, but
Yeah.
they're really sweet.
Aww. You're a good looking bird.
Yeah, it's cool, right?
Yeah.
And then every couple months, we got to come in here and clip all their wings.
Oh.
And that's pretty
Do
painful.
they try to fly over the fence?
Yeah, and they do. Yeah, they do whenever they get the chance.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, like all the weeds we're walking through right now are actually super pretty,
Yeah.
like wild amaranth.
Yes. I love amaranth.
Papi,
Morning.
¿puedes traer las cosas para ordeñar? Órale.
Wow. Yeah, that does look good.
Yeah.
So what are you growing here?
That's basil.
That's basil.
Yeah, but already ran its course, so now
Yeah,
we
okay.
flower for the bees. They love it.
Oh, yeah.
The marigolds,
I see.
some eggplants, the remaining of the lettuce,
Nice.
the remaining of the zucchini. So we don't like to turn the gardens right away.
Yeah.
I like just to let them
Yep.
rest.
It's better for the soil, too, when you leave stuff behind.
Yep.
But there's this infrastructure here can be for so many other things. Where Andrea was saying mushrooms would be really
Yeah.
cool. Even just build a platform on it and have like guest rooms, stuff like that.
Right.
We were talking about vermiculture and aquaponics. But we'll do that further on down the road. So our pigs are happier now. They're out.
Oh, yeah.
They have grass to eat and places to hide.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got really lucky when we moved here. This is Frida. Frida? Yeah, right. This whole barn was like perforated. All the metal was old and full of holes. And we didn't have any money, especially after we got here.
Yeah.
And one of the organizations on the island called us and said, hey, like, we're doing these, this grant program for food producers specifically. And you can get some money for infrastructure projects. We're like, oh, we need help with our barn, and we won the grant. And we got enough to pay contractors to do it, so we didn't even have to do it.
Oh, wow.
So they wrapped the whole barn.
That's
Hey, buddy.
incredible.
Yeah, because we need that to keep our equipment dry.
Yeah.
It's super important. one domestic and one wild pig.
Wow.
We got the wild pig in a trap so she could have a friend.
Just got her a friend.
Yeah, she needed a friend.
Yeah. The fence is off.
Okay. And then we were learning, right? So we put the electric fence in. We're like, oh, that'll keep them in. They'll get shocked and run back. But she just ran straight through. So we had to put a regular fence and the electric to kind of train her.
So she didn't even feel the electric shock?
Well,
Or it didn't impact her as much as you thought it
Well,
would?
she did. It impacted her, but she just ran forward instead of backwards. Yeah, this is similar to one of the things I'm going to make today in the class. This is a little less elegant because it's just from making cheese. But if you guys make cheese, don't throw your whey out. Use it on your plants or feed your chicken. You can give it to the chickens. Petunia is the big one.
Wow. She's gonna be a year in July.
So you can see the difference between domestic and wild pigs.
What's the difference?
Her ears are standing up because she's always got to be alert to protect herself, to make sure she's safe. She's relaxed, her ears are down. They don't go up because she's been bred inside of captivity for her whole life, and her ancestors have been bred inside. So she's real, yeah, totally different. You can pet her. I would not try to pet her, but Petunia's, her tail's more relaxed. She's really chilling out a lot, but she's still, you can see her, like, she's like, oh, what is that?
There's nothing inside.
And then the boar we're getting is 4 times her size. Wow. And we asked our friend, like, hey, he's not gonna smush her, and he said that when she's in heat, her back legs will lock up, and it's not, she's gonna be fine. She's so powerful. We're still real careful because she does try and nibble us. She'll try and eat your shoes and your clothes. And,
That's what my goats do.
yeah.
I'll ask Peter to wait there.
Okay.
I think like they have food all night.
But these birds are not motherly. They won't. I think at this point it's like a donkey. They don't procreate on their own. And then when you do have the two, it's like a white leghorn egg layer and then some other bird, and you crossbreed them and you get a meat bird. They're not going to sit on their eggs, so you have to incubate all the eggs, and that's why we order them. At some point we'd like to do it ourselves because this chicken is really good. It's a little bit man-made, but it's not like on a genetic level. It's not down to using CRISPR technology or anything like that. It's just selectively breeding. And it is a superior chicken meat. It's just like, usually when you get chicken from the store and you reheat it the next day, it's dry. Like no matter what you do, it's dry. This is it's amazing.
Nice and moist.
Yeah.
So how far along in their growth, like their growth stage, do they have to be before they're ready to be processed?
8 weeks.
8 weeks, yeah.
Okay.
8 to 10 weeks.
Yeah, these ones are smaller than the ones she just processed, so they're probably going to be more like 9 or 10.
Yeah.
By the time we harvest them.
Yeah. So because here they have the sunshine, so they go to bed, so they don't eat at nighttime.
Oh.
Usually from commercial chickens, they will have like the lights on all the time, so they will not stop eating. So they're ready usually.
So it
6
tricks
days.
them into thinking it's just constantly day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whoa.
We wanted to have like ducks free range,
Yeah.
but they will eat our cabbage, beans, and just like everything. Like, no.
Just like your chickens did.
Yes. It's like you learn quickly you need to keep them relatively contained.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is one of
Oh,
the
so
two.
this is the area that would get flooded?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like all the way up to here.
Yeah, it gets really wide, and there's an organization called NRCS that will help us fund all kinds of different projects on the farm, and one of them we signed up for is a low water crossing, so they'll help us cement that whole thing.
Oh.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool.
So is that what you do to get them ready for milking? Mm-hmm. That's great.
Yeah, we tie her legs. Now she's used to like us milking
Yeah.
her whatever, and she will stay.
That way she doesn't kick.
Yep. Yeah, she's great. And then this is how my grandpa did it, my dad did it, and he's the one that taught me how to do it this way. Then we're gonna clean her udders.
There's the 3 females, 2 had babies, and then the one that just walked up, we're hoping she's pregnant. And if not, we'll get her knocked up at some point so we can milk her. And that's enough.
So the babies, they will will help to stimulate the udder and bring the milk down. So that's what he's doing right now. And then we leave milk behind so he can finish emptying her.
All right, one more.
And then he's tied to mom because it will help her like stay calm,
Yeah.
knowing that the baby's like near her.
Yeah. That's good.
She's eyeing up that can.
What are you trying to say? You have a whole guava for us.
And then you can see how the teeth kind of gets like big.
Yeah.
And then we just clean the odor all around them.
That's a much deeper gulch.
What's that structure back there?
That's a different property.
Okay.
On the other side of the valley. There you go. So that gulch is the property line.
It takes a minute just to clean her, but then it's like all good.
All these trees with a lighter colored green right here called Koa. They're the most valuable wood in the world. Really?
Oh, we were talking about that in the ukulele shop.
Oh, cool, yeah.
And they
That's my favorite part.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is very frothy.
When I squeeze, it's like less.
Yeah.
So now there is no more coming out, but I can feel the odor that is still some behind. So if I bring the baby, she will let more. Now you can see how it's like all wrinkly. If I bring the baby, she will be like, okay, he needs more. So she will let down more milk or the remaining of the milk. But I don't want to take it all. Now Pete. Done.
Wow, look at that.
He will take care of the baby, take the leash off, put some balm on her udders, put some fly spray.
Yeah, the flies are relentless, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. We were told to use like some insecticides, but I'm like, that's
Yeah.
not going to her pores. so we're gonna
Exactly.
take it.
Yep. And in the milk, ultimately.
Yep.
Aw, there you go, baby.
The fly spray that we use, it only lasts for 6 to 12 hours. Like that's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, who's this new person? Who's this new person?
Aw.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it is magical. Yeah, it is. You know, all the stories that it is the last little tidbit of Lumeria and It's secretly connected to Hawaii, Mount Shasta, and
Oh,
yeah,
I haven't heard that.
Hawaii and Mount Shasta was originally part of an ancient land called the Mary, and so there's a connection between Hawaii and Northern California, and it's magical place, and Northern California, the redwoods, the last remnants of the prehistoric island. Hawaii was relatively new, but the tippy top of the Mary.
Okay. So the true reason Lumerians live in Lemuria is what the stories I hear in this area, and you drive towards Kona from here during the day, you guys will see that there's multiple valleys just like this.
The way she gave less, maybe she didn't drink that much water.
Does that make a difference?
Yeah, when they, but these might have like more cream. The cream here, I'm guessing, is gonna be like this thick.
Wow.
So when they drink more water, they have more milk, but the cream then is like less.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
A couple people have said I know how to get to them. Oh wow! So I
And then we just use the stainless steel or glass. Glass is kind of like, oh, so delicate, but it's like, safe for food.
has its own wood valley, and the caretakers there, they say they know how to get to these places. And you need like ropes, and ladder, and you get up to this longitude, and you go in.
This is one of the things where this is like their land. You're just kind of
Yes.
you have to ask permission before you change it.
There was something meditative about watching her milk the cows as the sun was rising over the horizon of this jungle paradise. It's hard to believe that they've developed this farm in such a short amount of time. It takes a lot of work, even for someone like myself, to build and manage my own small farm. So seeing the two of them work this land together was special. They do have some extra help from her dad, as well as a few others who came here under a program where they can stay for free in exchange for helping them tend the land. It's a great way to build community with like-minded people, teach others how to grow food organically, and pass along the plant knowledge and wisdom. It has its ups and downs, though, a constant circulation of people coming and going, so it's hard to rely on consistent, reliable help.
So the workers think they think of it more of a vacation than an actual work. They don't know it's, you wake up with the sun and you start working right away.
Yep.
So we do video interviews because we want them to see us. We want us to see if we want to see them. These people usually are traveling thousands of miles to come live in our home. So we want to know that we are all on the same page and they know what to expect and what we expect from them. And what they're going to gain from this experience, how hard it's going to be, how muddy it's going to be, how wet your feet might get, that you can't stop if it's raining because people are waiting on their food and we have customers who rely on us and families. So when we get past all that and people are still like, I'll be there, then we know that's like definitely a great sign. But like, there's things that we listen for now to like, why our farm? We ask people, why did you choose our farm? There's a lot of farms to choose from. People say things like, I think it's a really great opportunity to meet people. And I'm like, well, that's not why you're coming here. You're coming here to learn how to farm or homestead or take care of animals.
Did you start to feel at times like that you needed to scale back, that you needed to,
Hell yeah.
the vegetables?
The vegetables.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have the labor to weed it. Well, so we scaled back with the vegetables. Initially, when we first got here, we had a jump start because the owner let us just go and prepare land. And we had like like a super team. Like our woofers were hardcore. So we were doing like 1,000-pound, 1,200-pound harvests. Like now these days we're doing like 4 or 5. That's good. We were doing like over 1,000 pounds a week, like carrots and eggplants and all kind pumpkins, just like tons of, because we have the labor, and then that's not consistent. We can get the same amount of people, but they might not be like every one of them is a force. So when we first like got the keys to the front door, moved in day one, like we were already had the fields planted. And every one of our woofers was just like you can't fuck with them. Like they're just awesome. We're so lucky.
Yeah.
And that fluctuates. And I feel like we've always had great people, but not everyone is just like sweating their ass off, breaking their back because they like doing that. And so yes, we had to scale back the vegetables because it depends on the labor force we have at the time and what we're reasonably able to maintain.
Yeah, to be able to sustain it without necessarily depending on the team that you have being there 100% in its entirety all the time.
Right.
Farmer Matt has been managing the neighboring organic mamaki farm for years before buying his own land. So he and his wife, Andrea, were using that farm to grow their own food in between the rows of mamaki.
And then how soon after managing that did you guys decide to buy your own?
We always knew we wanted to, but it seemed pretty far off, kind of almost unattainable. We were always like, maybe someone will let us live there forever if we like take care of them. And they can like cite us into the deed or something. We'll always be there to take care of some of our more elderly neighbors. But it was 3 years into managing that farm that we even had an opportunity to buy a farm. No one had ever asked us like, hey, do you want to buy my farm? So we're like, well, yeah, we want to. Of course we do. How the hell are we going to do that? We did at that time know about this farm acquisition loan program. Like it was 3 months of paperwork and prep and back and forth and phone calls and emails that Andrea did pretty much all of. Wow. And because I don't know how to do that stuff.
Yeah.
I just get frustrated. Look at this paperwork and I'm like,
It's over.
I'm never going to get a farm.
Right.
And during this time, like I was telling y'all earlier, there was like a issue with the seller that set us back to the point where we're like, how this is not possible. Like what, there's nothing we can do now to get this farm. And we still, like, she does not take no for an answer. So just persevered. And I'm usually that way too, but we kind of feed off of each other. When I'm at my lowest point, she's there for me and vice versa.
Yeah.
And that's really what it took to be able to do that and get to where we are.
My goodness.
So Andrea had a drone picture of the farm and it just says, don't give up, you're almost there.
Oh, that's great.
Almost there. That's what our barn used to look like.
Wow.
Rusty.
Wow.
So
It keeps, it's good to have stuff like this because it does remind you why you're doing all of what you're doing. Brings you back to the reason that you started it all to begin with.
He has grown the mamaki farm to be a wild success. So there was no doubt that they'd see that kind of success for themselves on their own farm. The love that they pour into the animals and land, the local people there, and the ancient principles to honor and respect the plants and native wisdom was endearing. It made it hard to leave, and even made me see myself one day joining them in their quest to grow good, clean, healthy food while taking good care of the Hawaiian land. Later that morning, people started to show up for his Korean natural farming class. It was a hands-on demonstration, and he poured out all of his knowledge on soil health, specifically volcanic soil health, on this island, using local plants and how to ferment them to create liquefied solutions that feed the plants and soil. Previously, I dabbled into some of this myself on my homestead, making some of my own homemade fertilizers. But this took it to a whole new level. Who would have thought that you could use such simple, minimal ingredients like brown sugar and plants to create a super rich fertilizer for your garden? Easy and scalable, even for those with a much larger farm. A small amount of it goes a long way. Now, if only the large commercial farms could catch on to this, ditch the chemicals and synthetics that are destroying our land and health, and begin to change their own methods, the world would be a much better place. Farmer Matt gave a tour of his farm, let everyone ask all their questions, and fed us all a homemade lunch from the animals and gardens on their farm. It was great to have that time to talk to other farmers in the area, hear their stories and what they're growing. Everyone was so enthusiastic and passionate about plants and organic living. How can you not be when you step foot onto this island? It truly is a magical paradise. I could instantly feel the energy here, and it makes you want to take care of it. It's a sacred place, rich in native culture and tradition, in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, surrounded by seawater, active volcanoes, luscious plant life, fruit trees, and deep ancient history and mystery. There's no other place quite like it, if you ask me. After our time there, we went to our next destination, Kailua, Kona. We stayed on a private estate where they had so many fruit trees like papaya, lemon, and avocado. They had several large pastures for their sheep. It was quiet and relaxing, exactly what we needed to just unwind and simply be. This is when vacation really kicked in. We explored several secluded beaches, including one of my personal favorites, where you have to drive for miles through rough volcanic rock. Many cars couldn't make it, had to abandon their vehicles and attempt to walk the rest of the way. But once you did, it was worth it. The view was absolutely stunning. It's tucked into a little cove mixed with volcanic rock to explore and beautiful sand, great for snorkeling. The first time we were there 5 years ago, we had this cove all to ourselves, completely secluded. Now word got out about this special spot, so more people were there, but it was still our favorite beach. The island has heart and soul. You can feel it. Hawaii has an energetic and spiritual intelligence. So when I say I feel pulled in like a tidal wave, I mean it. I loved the way Farmer Matt put it about people coming to live in Hawaii, whether temporary or permanent, that the island will either drive them mad or uplift them. It's as though the island either receives you or spits you back out. I felt well received while I was there and know that I'll be back one day.